And welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo GameCube. Alright my friends, so we're going to be entering our first adult dungeon now. This is the Forest Temple. Where did we just go? Oh dear, game glitches for you. Now the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show off the hookshot. One use it has is, as you saw there, I hookshotted them onto the vines. And you can climb up them a lot quicker that way. It just saves you a lot of time in your overall playthrough experience. Another good thing that the hookshot has is you can take out the gold sculptures with one hit and bring the gold sculpture token to you. Another good use it has is if you see a chest, you can hookshot over to that as well. So if there's a chest on a higher up platform and you can't get to it by jumping, the hookshot will do that just fine for you. So I'm going to just roll over here, avoid the wolves, I'm not going to bother fighting them. We need a little bit of time for this dungeon. Take out the sculpture. It's a very powerful broken item, this. So this is the Forest Temple. This is a very mysterious and confusing place indeed. So these four ghosts appear, and they've taken the torches away. And that little box there, we had to be inside that to get to the boss. So they're going to make our lives a little bit more miserable. We have to go and find them. And to start off this playthrough episode, guys, I just want to wish you guys a very happy new year. I hope you have a good one. Try not to get too wasted this evening. Right, there we go, there's another sculpture token. I think that puts us up to about 20 now. Now then, the way I like to do this dungeon... Get out of here. You don't have to fight them if you don't want to. Unless you have to, in which case you do have to. I'm going to show you guys how I do this dungeon in a sec, but first, let me take out these guys. These are a right nuisance. Come on. There you go. You can time this with their jumps. It kind of makes your life a little bit easier at times. There you go. Wait for them to attack normally. One thing that you can actually use, you'll notice that the first guy dropped Deku nuts. There's a reason for that, and a reason that I'll be explaining in this episode as well actually. The many uses of the Deku nut. One of the uses for the Deku nut is it stuns enemies. I could have used it on them and it would stun them in place and then you get an attack in. So it's, I don't know, it's a very, very useful thing to do. You can stun enemies and sort of break the game a little bit. Now if you're quick enough, there's actually a fairy in one of these jars over here. But if you if you have an unfortunate experience with them, you can actually do what I've just done. For some reason I always have trouble catching this fairy. But it doesn't matter, I actually do already have a fairy. It's just nice to have the additional one or two every now and then. But we'll be okay. All I'm going to basically do is equip the Deku nuts and get this show on the road, I suppose. Now the way that I was going to explain earlier, the way I do this dungeon, is I go about it in an anti-clockwise fashion. So I start off in that room and I start off down here. Now you can go up there. There is a ladder, not a ladder, sorry, a staircase that takes you up to an open door. You have to unlock that first, but you need 3 keys. You don't realise this until halfway through that door, and that can be a bit of a nuisance. So what we're going to do is we're going to go this way instead, because you have to go this way. But the easiest way of remembering this dungeon is just start off anti-clockwise. And the anti-clockwise method will work later on as well. It's my own personal reminder that I use to get me through this dungeon a little bit more smoothly, because for some reason this dungeon can prove to be very difficult at times. What even happened just there? What are you doing, Link? Guy didn't want to kill him. Either that or the sculpture was immune to my hookshot. They're building up an immunity already. I've only had this thing a day. Right, you can't get the third one, but if you time it right, you can actually get around him and hopefully he will not see you. There we go, he did see me and he nearly attacked me. Right, we have to actually kill this bonehead, so let's take him out first. And that's going to get us the map. If you don't know your way around this dungeon very well, it's probably a good idea to pick this one up, and the compass as well. I'm probably not going to bother this time. I know where I'm going. And that's good, because this dungeon is a pain in the arse at times. So we're going to hook over to this hookshot block, drain the water in the well, and get familiar with them hookshot blocks, because you're going to kind of have to need to eventually. Right, can I do this? Oh, nearly. I normally like to kill that thing by jumping down, and this has gone completely tits up this time round. Bit of a shame really, but never mind. You can't have everything. Let's grab the Deku Stick. And it doesn't matter that we're going to take damage when we jump down this well, because thankfully for us there's 2 heart pieces down here. Not 2 heart pieces, sorry, 2 hearts. It'd be great if there was 2 heart pieces. I do intend on collecting more heart pieces throughout this game, and I will show off some later on that you can get very easily. But we have to come down here to get the 3rd key. Because in the next door that we're going to go into, we need 3 keys at that point, otherwise you won't get very far. You'll only get halfway through that section, and then there'll be a locked door and you'll wonder where you went wrong. So again, just stick to the anti-clockwise method. It works pretty darn well. Right, avoid these guys. Nasty little combination of enemies there. You've got that annoying guy that spits them rocks at you, and you've got a massive plant that tries to attack you as well. That's not really fair, because they kind of gang up on you, as you saw earlier. So we get to go through the first locked door. And whoop-de-doo, another Skulltula. These things are not even intimidating anymore. As Kid Link they were a little bit, because you had to wait for them to turn around, so there was an element of difficulty there. But now you can just destroy them before they've even got a chance to have a go at you. Now this section of the dungeon I always find to be as confusing as you want to make it. It really isn't though. There's some arrows painted on the floor, as Navi correctly says. And all that means is that you've got to bring this block forward a couple of spaces until it aligns properly with the corridor, like that. And all we're doing here is we're doing a little bit of block pushing. Only 2 blocks, thankfully, because this can be a little bit tedious in terms of how much time it takes up. But it doesn't take that long overall in comparison to the rest of the dungeon. So all you want to do now is come around here, push this block, and try not to make the mistake that I have made in the past. A lot of people do this. They climb up this block now, because the game makes the success sound, so you think, oh great, I can climb up there. Don't do it, because again you'll make a mistake. You'll run into a problem because you haven't pushed the second block, which is actually up here. So you actually have to go round and find the block that needs to be pushed, which is this one. And you've got to push it all the way to the end, because when we go back to that green block and climb up it, we're going to run into this red block you see, and we need to move it from there. So again, a little bit tedious and time consuming, but it's the Zelda dungeon. There's an element of puzzles, of course, and this is one of them. So now we can go back. There goes my face, my pointy nose. Alright. Climb up here. And climb up here. And there we go, and there's that red block. So now what you're going to do is basically just push that out of the way. So you wouldn't have got any further than this. You would have done this entire block puzzle and you wouldn't have even got to the next key door, actually, because you'd need 3 keys, like I said before. So this entire thing would be pointless if you didn't have 3 keys already. Because you would have done that puzzle, you would have come up here, got through another door or 2, or probably only 1 more door, actually, which would be this one. But at this point you need to have 1 key spare. This corridor is all twisted. You're right, I don't like its sense of humour either. How trippy is that? That was quite clever for Nintendo to put that in there, actually. Makes me feel like I'm in a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie or something. Creepy monsters on the ceiling, just keep moving. And then there's this locked door here. Now this takes us to the group of ghosts. There's 2 ghosts that we can get actually in the paintings down here. The 3rd one's in a different area, and the 4th one is back in the main hall. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but they're all scattered around. And here we go again. There's this guy. He can run over the drop in the middle. That's a little bit unfair, I think. Come on. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw that down. And you see that? Completely stuns the enemy. And normally what you do is you wait for him to lower his guard like that. And there you go. 3 jump attacks should be more than enough to take that guy out. And then there's 2 more. And this is the 2 that I said were going to be a little bit difficult because these guys are the ones that are on a timer. So if you take one out and you don't take out the other one in time, you're going to run into a problem because the other one will just get back up. And they'll just keep playing that leapfrog fashion, and then you may end up just dying in this room because you can't get out of it until you beat them both. It's quite unfair, I think. Come on. There you go. Try it again. There we go. Come on, one more. There we are. And that's all you got to do. And then that spawns a chest in the middle of the room, and this chest I'll actually thankfully open. I'll grab those Deku nuts first though, actually. We're going to use them again in this dungeon, believe it or not, for another useful thing. But in this chest is... And we robbed it for another fairy. We keep robbing the fairy. Here is the fairy bow. Again, another extremely broken item. Okay. A couple of pots in this room. They've all got hearts in. Keep going to say heart pieces. What is wrong with me? Why have I got that much hope? Right, now. Let's see. Let's start by going up here. Because there's the first ghost that we need to encounter. Right, so let's go ahead and equip the bow. We won't need the hookshot for a little while. Step on the middle part of the staircase, because from here you can see all 3 of the paintings, and as you saw, the ghost will teleport to a different painting. So you need to kill all 3 of the paintings, basically. You need to destroy all 3 of them. Now, the ghost comes down here into this little arena room, whatever. Now, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can shield, and then eventually they'll come back, and you can hit them. What I like to do is throw a Deku Nut on the floor. It brings them back immediately and just saves you having to wait for them to attack you so that you can attack them. Just saves you a lot of time. So that puts back that torch, gives us another chest, which is the compass, I think, so I'm going to leave that one. And that's 1 ghost out of 4. Now then... If I remember correctly, is this a locked door up here? Yes it is, so we need another key now. So we're going to leave this room for the time being, and we're going to head back in the direction that we came. Because now that we've got the bow, that twisted corridor can be changed. But first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the second ghost using the exact same method that I did before. Where are you? There you are. You can't escape when I'm on the middle of this staircase. It's not cheating, it's just using strategy, I suppose. You can't call it unfair when the ghost is teleporting from place to place. Right. Oh, 2 attacks, okay. Alright then. 3? Alright, this one's a bit brave. Gonna do the first attack with that. You see, all that time that you have to wait for him to appear just so you can attack him, you don't have to bother with the Deku Nuts. You just bring him to you. And there we go. Second torch. Come over to this chest over here if you want to, because inside there's a small key. And you know what that means, we can go back to that locked door, can't we? Right, let's see now. There is an element of backtracking in this dungeon. This dungeon is notoriously known for that. You do a lot of backtracking. Quite a high amount. Now what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to use another item that I haven't really used so far in this game, and that's Furor's Wind. Now if you don't know what Furor's Wind is, it's a spell that takes up about 1/5 of your magic at a time, but it leaves a checkpoint in the room that you just came through. And the next time you activate it, you'll be instantly teleported to the last door that you came through. And that's very handy, because we're going to have to come here, you see. And this might actually be pointless right now for us to do, thinking about it. Because, if I remember correctly, there isn't anything apart from a locked door down that corridor. Yeah, so we have to come back here. I'm going to leave Farore's Wind in this room. Because at some point we will have to come back to this room to get through that locked door. But we need an extra key. So the way that we're going to go about that is go back to the main corridor that was twisted in the first place, and just outside of that door there's an eye switch, which you obviously need the arrows for. So any eye switch in this game that we come across now, we can just go ahead and use the arrows on. Unlocks quite a lot of opportunities for us. Alright. That's just so trippy. Extremely trippy. Alright. Sorry, eye. That looks like it extremely hurt. Alright, so that's actually straightened out this corridor now. And it's also changed the room as well, as you can see. And there's a good reason for that. If we come over here, this is the boss key. Now, if it's there in front of you, you might as well pick it up. There's no point coming back to it. So now we've got the key to fight the boss. And there's this little hole in the ground there. Go away, man. Again with the broken items. Arrows kill them, or at least stun them on the ground. You can also use the hook shot as well. That stuns them though. Go away. There we go. It killed it that time as well. Right. Why does a skull need money? Okay. Now we're back outside again. Another one of these douchebags. Go away. There we go. I'll take them Deku Nuts gladly. So, just around this corner here there's another door. And this is the door that we've been looking for, because in here there's one of these shadow crawling monsters. Shoot it 2 times with an arrow, it splits off into 3, and you want to try and get them quick because they form back into one of the main ones again, and that's when they're at their most powerful. And there you go. Nice and easy. Unlocks the door, gives us another key, and of course you know where we can use that one. And look how close that magic bottle is. A little bit close for comfort. There we go. Now because I used Farore's Wind, I can go back to the warp point, which was just in here as you see. Just saves you a lot of time, I find. And you can only use it in the dungeons as well. I mean, there's a reason for that, obviously, isn't there, as you can see. So we're back here now, as you can see, and this time we can just climb this ladder now that I've got to. And the locked door at the end of this corridor can now be opened. Screw these guys, I'm not even bothering. And now there's 2 things you can do in this room. There's a little bit of a puzzle. It's not really that difficult. There's an eye block there, but it's surrounded with ice. So the general consensus is that you have to get on one of these rotating platforms and shoot through the fire and literally just burn the ice off. But because it's ice and we've already acquired Din's Fire, we can also use another spell and melt it off this way as well. And there we go. Just another way to save time. Now that corridor that we came down earlier with the skulls down it, that's also now been changed. Oh, that was close. That was very close. So now this has been twisted. Kind of messes with your mind, this dungeon, it really does. So now, there's a hole in this floor that we need to go down, and it takes us into some random room which for some reason has a ceiling that falls down. That's where this dungeon's method of tricking you out is just to confuse the hell out of you, I'm pretty sure of it. Take you out. And there's a switch here. There's actually a few of them sculptures hanging on the ceiling, which is a little bit naughty, I find. See, there's one up there as well. And you can't lock onto them when you're down here like this. But never mind. I'll just shoot the door instead. Now, this ghost plays a different game. You shoot the painting, and he gives us a puzzle to do instead. Now, the easiest way to do this puzzle is always remember that the middle block is the piece that you don't need. So what you want to do is just move it out of the way. Just like that. And then this one can literally just be pushed forward. And all the pieces are actually ready to just be put together. They don't have to be flipped over or moved or anything like that. You just put them the way they're supposed to be in the puzzle. Just imagine, I don't know, a square that's been split into 4 quarters. All you're doing is pushing them 4 quarters back together again. It's quite simple, really. First time I entered this dungeon though, I looked at the sides of the blocks and I noticed that there's pictures on them as well, and that just really tripped me out. You're not hiding. I'm not giving you star treatment. Now the 4th and final ghost plays a bit of a different game. Playing hard to get now, aren't you? There we go. I'll show that one off in a second. Ironically, the ghosts are actually very close together. The dungeon itself is a little bit difficult to navigate, but the ghosts are all pretty much together. It's like we're back here now, in the main room. And there's the 4th and final ghost. We just took out the 3rd one, but it's here, you see? It's kind of crazy. Now this one's playing a bit of a holographic game with us. Now you can make this easier on yourself by taking 2 of them out. You don't have to do that, but it gives you a 50-50 chance of hitting them. We didn't get him, so we're just going to have to block that guy. But the easiest way of doing this puzzle is as soon as all 4 of them spawn around you, one of them will slowly rotate like that. That's the one that you need to hit. And when you think about it, that's quite an obvious giveaway really, isn't it? There you go, so it's that one. And you can try and move, but they'll keep on circling you. There's no escape, basically. So it's either kill the boy or be killed. Damn it. There we go. Locking onto them can be a little bit difficult at times because you don't always lock onto the one that you want to lock onto, as you saw just then. How many arrows is this guy going to take? There we go. Come on. That's it. And that's the 4th and final ghost. So we've brought back all 4 of the flames now. And of course, that brings the platform back up for us. So all of that just to pretty much go down here. We had to raise the platform to lower it. All of that nonsense just for that. Now the way I do this is, again, I go anti-clockwise, so push this one, and what you'll find is that, where is it? There's a switch straight away that you can activate. I have to remember that there's actually another sculpture in here as well. And I do think we're over 20 now, so we can go ahead and get our second reward. That one gives us the second switch. And then again, all you want to do is push it anti-clockwise again. I just find it's the best way to remember this dungeon, because it kind of screws with your head a little bit, so just remember anti-clockwise, and you should be good. Right, you can go to hell. I hear you, Gold Sculpture. Alright, there we go. You're actually on this wall here, aren't you? I know you are. I shall save you. You're coming with me. Can't leave you in this place. It's already driving me insane. And he's trapped in a little room with the Umbrella Corporation sign on the floor. That just isn't fair. Alright, one more push I reckon should do this. So again, we'll go anti-clockwise. And And then there's a door there for us, and the switch is on the other side. So you get a sculpture, you get the 3 switches, and the last one opens up the last gate for us. And that pretty much just takes us to the boss room. Which happens to be a really cool boss fight, I find. I'm really happy that to some degree they incorporated this fight in Wind Waker. Only to a certain degree, like the element of fighting. It was very nostalgic and a bit of a throwback to this. And this kind of throws people off for the first time they see it, because they think that they're fighting Ganondorf. And I have to admit, you would think that, because he's literally sitting on that horse in front of you, but it's not. It's Phantom Ganon. The evil spirit from beyond version. Because, you know, the normal Ganondorf isn't that, is he? Right, now there's a lot of paintings in this room that all look the same. They've got a terrible taste. Now, if you see 2 of them together, keep an eye open for the one that runs backwards, and try not to get hit like I did. That was such a horrible mistake. Damn it, man, seriously. Right, if you see 2 of them, the one that runs back is not the right one. The one that tries to come out of the painting and kills you is that douchebag there. Right, nearly got me again. Got a nasty punch as well. Right, I hope that's the right one. Yes it is, good. Thank God for that. If only you could hit him as he was going back, that would be fantastic. Just getting impaled by a ginormous arrow as he's going further back into the painting. And there we go. So that's the first phase of this fight completed. One thing I do here is I charge up my sword and do that. For some reason that works extremely well. If you charge up and you just stay still, it normally, I would say about 7 or 8 times out of 10 it will hit him. You do go through quite a bit of magic here though, unfortunately, and it takes him down straight away. So a few hits and away you go really, you'll have this boss done in no time. Oh, nasty. Very nasty. What's he getting wise now, is he? Alright. I think he's on his last legs now. He has got a second attack, which really isn't fair. I'm pretty sure that lightning ball went right through him earlier though. That looked like it did to me. Let's try this method again. There we go. There we are. And that's Phantom Ganon defeated. Wasn't that difficult, and it didn't take too long either. He did get a couple of lucky hits in though. If I was a bit quicker on my toes in thinking that he might gain quite a lot of smartness, I think might be the right way to put it, in knowing what I was going to do, then I think I might have done a better job, but he picked things up pretty quick, but it wasn't quite enough. He is dead, and Ganondorf has banished him away. It's like Mundus from Devil May Cry. He kills anything that he summons if it doesn't do his biddings right. Right, another heart container for us. Hell yes, there we go. We've got 8 heart containers in total now. Very nice. And the forest temple is done. I never have to return to this shithole ever again, and I'm happy about that. But now we've got some storytelling. What do you want, Sir Raya? How did you end up dying? I didn't know you were a sage. Yeah, no kidding. Freaking sage of the forest temple. Why didn't you say anything? I don't care if you didn't know. Just be honest with me in the future, man. Because of you that I'm engaged to a freaking Zora. She thinks that's hilarious, doesn't she? I can see it in her face. Oh dear. But anyway, we get the forest medallion, and that's the second one out of 6. So we are 1/3 of the way there already. The old man molested us in our sleep for 7 years, I'm pretty sure of it. So that's why we got the light medallion very easily, I'm guessing. It was a bit of bribery and a bit of, I don't know. I'm going to stop. I'm going to leave it there, actually. That was getting dark too quick. Soraya will always be, and then ... your friend. Should be another little small print underneath that. So enjoy your engagement with Azora. Now, what the hell is this, I wonder? Surprise, motherfucker! That has got the most daunted expression on its face I've ever seen in my life. None of them recognised you. No, well, half of them are dead, I think. I just found out that one of them's a sage. Don't even know if my supposed fiancée, Zora, is even okay. Again with the flames. Why does that make everything more dramatic? Look how it's in red. The Hylia mother and baby boy entered this forbidden forest. Giving you little hints and stuff about the story, just in case you don't realise what it means. Just throwing them little indications out there so you get gists. And this is where we find out we're a Hylian, and we were always meant to leave the forest. We've learnt our destiny, we've got 2 medallions, we acquired 3 spiritual stones as a kid, and we got a butter knife which we sort of upgraded to a master sword, which is a nice little upgrade. But yeah, Peter Pan and Tinkerbell in the house. We're now done, and I'm going to go ahead and leave the episode here, guys. We're going to be heading off to the next dungeon in this game. Alright guys, so I'm hoping you're enjoying the playthrough. Happy New Year, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Alright guys, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.